everyone, welcome back to the video on Football Zone and to a weekend previewing Premier League and Championship action. The last international break is over and we're really heading towards business end of the season right now, so let's get straight into it with Liverpool versus Watford. And yeah, one team at the top of the table still very much on in their title race, on great form. Now we're looking to leave where they left off against the Watford side who, yeah, still in the relegation zone. It's looking quite tough for them at the moment, isn't it? And yeah, for them this is just definitely a free hit, but you know, you'd expect Liverpool to get a comfortable win here, and I think they will do. I'm going to say 3-0 to the Scousers. Moving on then to Brighton versus Norwich at the Amex. And yeah, this is an interesting one because Brighton and Norwich really were just in horrendous form before the break, losing all 5 in their most recent games in all comps, that is. And yeah, just in terrible form, all of them. Brighton slipping towards mid-table, and Norwich, you know, they're pretty much out of the relegation race now, so this is a good time for one of them to rediscover their form. I think it will be Brighton, having home advantage, the better team probably as well on paper, so yeah, I'm going to say 1-0. Moving on then to Burnley, and so they take on Manchester City at Turf Moor. And Burnley, before the break, yeah, their form was getting quite concerning, because you really thought Sean Dyche's side, they were starting to pick up now like they always do, but yeah, 3 defeats before the break has kind of hampered that. And then you've got the City side who, yeah, they have been having a few little slip-ups, and they can't let this be the case because then Liverpool will start motoring ahead of them. But yeah, for me, in this one, City have to be considered favourites, and I am going to go for a 2-0 City win, but it should be an interesting game, this one. Moving on then to Chelsea versus Brentford at Stamford Bridge, and yeah, you'd probably say Chelsea are the favourites for this one, wouldn't you? But you know, you still got all of the uncertainty surrounding Chelsea at the moment, which, you know, casting doubt, but they've responded to it well, winning 5 in a row against the Brentford side who have won 2 of their last 3, and you know, they're looking pretty good in the relegation race. You'd be incredibly surprised they go down from this position, so they'll be feeling confident. And yeah, I do back them to get the win here. I'm going to say a 2-0 Chelsea win, but you know, it will be a tough game for them. Moving on then to Leeds as they host Southampton at Elland Road. And Leeds, obviously, yeah, they're pulling away from the relegation zone now after 2 absolutely massive victories just before the international break over Norwich and Wolves. Southampton, on the other hand, for them, it's been 4 losses on the trot, really, after going on a really great run before. So hopefully the international break will be the perfect opportunity for them to reset. But Leeds will be targeting this one, but I think it will just be that opportunity to reset Southampton. And I can see them picking up a point from this one. Moving on then to Midlands derby as Wolves take on Aston Villa at Millwall. And yeah, for me this is an interesting one because Wolves obviously having that collapse last time out against Leeds, how will that affect them even with the 2-week break? That will be playing in their mind for sure. Villa did have 2 losses on the trot, but you know, they were against Arsenal, West Ham, 2 very, very good sides. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. But yeah, I just feel like Wolves with the home advantage will probably come into this one as favourites. So yeah, I'm going to say 2-0. Moving on then to Manchester United as they take on Leicester at Old Trafford. And yeah, obviously lots of noise going on around Manchester United at the moment. It's looking less and less likely by the week that they'll qualify for the Champions League. So yeah, they really do need a result from this one, really, don't they? Just to pile on the pressure. But you know, Leicester, they're not having the best of times either, so the pressure's always on them. And Brendan Rodgers seemingly at the moment too. So yeah, it'll be interesting this one. But I do feel like United at home will have enough to get the win. I'm going to say 1-0. Moving on then to West Ham as they take on Everton on Sunday in the Premier League. And yeah, West Ham, I think they'll come into this one feeling pretty confident, despite the 3-1 defeat to Spurs last time out. That was a big blow for their Champions League hopes, but you know, they're still having a great season, and Everton 4-0 battering by Palace in the Cup. Yeah, that wouldn't have done their confidence any good, and you know, they're still firmly in the relegation battle. So yeah, I definitely fancy a West Ham win here. Moving on then to Tottenham as they host Newcastle at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And Tottenham, yeah, I mean, like, that 3-1 win against West Ham, the 2-1 win against Brighton before, it's just about keeping them in the Champions League race at the moment, but you know, Arsenal's still definitely the favourites. So yeah, it'll be an interesting one to see which way this goes. But yeah, you'd have to consider Tottenham the favourites against the Newcastle side that have been much improved. But yeah, they've kind of got nothing to play for now. Tottenham still have everything to play for, so I'm going to say 2-0. Moving on then to Palace as they host Arsenal on Monday night. And yeah, I'm actually really intrigued by this one. Will Palace be able to do something similar to what they did against Manchester City a few weeks back. It'll certainly be interesting to see. But Arsenal, they just look so good at the moment, don't they? Their only defeat recently coming against Liverpool, and we know how good they are, and except for that, it's just W's everywhere. And they're looking in a really, really good position for the Champions League. Hopefully the international break hasn't dampened their momentum, and I don't think it will. I think Arsenal will have enough to get the win here. I'm going to say 2-0. Moving on then to the Championship action, and starting off on Friday night as Hull take on Huddersfield. And this is a massive game, not so much for Hull now. I think they don't really have too much to play for, really. But for Huddersfield, because obviously they want a really, really bad run before the break, and their playoff position is now firmly under threat, so this is a must-win game for them against Hull, who have lost the last 5 home games, I think, or something like that. So this is a massive game for Huddersfield, and I do think the break will give them the first rate opportunity to refresh, and I think they'll get the win. 1-0 for me. Moving on then to the Championship games on Saturday, and starting off with Blackpool versus Nottingham Forest at lunchtime. And this is another interesting one, because Blackpool were on a really good run before the break, 3 wins and a draw from the last 4 games. However, Forest also on a good run, obviously gave Liverpool a really good game just before the break in the Cup. They'll come into this one confidence, firmly in the playoff hunt still. I'm going to say 2-0 to Forest, but I don't think this will be easy for Forest at all. Moving on then to another absolutely massive game down at the foot of the Championship as Barnsley take on Reading at Oakwell. And Barnsley, they'll come into this one, I think, being relatively confident. They've been much harder to beat recently. Obviously did lose to Sheffield United last time out, but have given a good account of themselves at home recently. But Reading, 4 points from Blackburn and Bournemouth was an excellent return, so they will come into this one full of confidence, I think. It's a game that could go either way, but I just feel like, to keep it interesting, Barnsley tend to be better at home. I'm just going to lean for a Barnsley victory here, 1-0. Moving on then to Bournemouth as they take on Bristol City at the Vitality Stadium. And Bournemouth, that 3-0 win against Huddersfield last time out would have been such a huge relief to them, really, just clearing them of any worries of Huddersfield, for the automatic promotion places. Whereas Bristol City, chucking 2 leagues away to West Brom will be frustrating last time out, and it's kind of their season just petering out now. But this is one for them, which they can target, but I'm going to say 2-0. Moving on then to Coventry as they host Blackburn at the Coventry Building Society Arena. And Coventry, they come into this one on a bit of a mixed run of form, to be honest. Their season really has just kind of petered out recently, and you just feel like this part of the season for them now is really going to be preparing for next season. Blackburn, they're still in a playoff hunt, and this is a must-win for them, and I think they will get the win. I'm going to say 1-0 to Rovers. Moving on then to Derby as they host Preston at Pride Park. And Derby, I just don't know what it is. I think it was that run that they went on a few weeks back. I'm just still hesitant to rule them out, but it is looking really, really tough for them. But against the Preston team, who haven't been doing much recently, so I think Derby will come into this one confident that they can get some sort of result and hopefully get their charge to stay back on track. And I've just got a feeling they're going to do it against a mid-table home side. You couldn't have picked a better game. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 Derby win. Moving on then to Luton as they host Millwall at Kenilworth Road. And Luton are just absolutely flying at the moment. Really, ever since the turn of the year, they've just been flying and looking really good in the playoff spots now. Millwall intent still not totally out of it. Game in hand on Blackburn in 6th, so they're definitely not totally out of it. But it will be a tough ask. And you'd feel like this is the sort of game that they need to win, but that's an incredible tough ask. And I think Luton will have too much for them here. I'm going to say 1-0 to Luton. Moving on then to a big game at both ends of the table as Peterborough host Middlesbrough. And Middlesbrough, of course, firmly still in the race for the playoffs. They kind of did have a bit of a wobble just before the break, but got on track with that 2-0 win against Birmingham. And then Peterborough coming up with a surprise 3-1 win away at QPR. Hopefully will give them some confidence and allows them to get back into the race. Because we want as many teams in relegation battle as possible. But I just feel like Borough will probably have a bit too much here for the victory. So I'm going to say a 2-0 win for Borough. Moving on then to a big game at the top for QPR and for Fulham. Fulham, they've had a bit of a slide recently, just 1 point from 2 before the break. And QPR are obviously on dreadful form as well. We mentioned that defeat to Peterborough, and they've slipped outside the playoffs now, and they have to start picking up points fast really if they want to get back in the playoff hunt really. So this is a big game for them, one that you feel like they need to get a result from. So yeah, it will be interesting, but I can see Fulham slipping up again. I don't think it really matters to them anymore. I'm going to say 1-1, but yeah, this is a much bigger game for QPR. Moving on then, Stoke host Sheffield United at the Bet365 Stadium, and Stoke, just before the break, seem to be coming into a little bit of form with that 2-0 win over Millwall. So they'll be trying to get a run together now, even though their season is pretty much done. Sheffield United, still a bit inconsistent, but 2-0 win to against Barnsley last time out. But yeah, I just got a feeling they're going to slip up in this one. I think Stoke will be revitalised after the break. So yeah, I'm going to say a draw from this one. Moving on then to Cardiff as they take on Barnsley at... Cardiff as they take on Swansea at... the Cardiff City Stadium. I don't know why I thought it was Barnsley. But yeah, Cardiff, they'll come into this one feeling relatively confident on a really decent run before the break. Swansea were unbeaten in 2 as well. So, I think both teams will come into this one confident. Obviously, it's a derby. They'll want to come into it all guns blazing, even though these two don't have much to play for. It's all about pride, really, isn't it? But yeah, I'm going to say a 1-1 draw where I think these two teams are so evenly matched. Moving on into another derby to finish with, and this is a big one for West Brom if they want to keep any hopes of playoff alive, which I think are probably quite minimal, but you never know, really, do you? Birmingham aren't on great form, and I think any other year they'd probably be in a relegation battle right now. But West Brom, they were improving before, but still unbeaten, but they weren't really picking as much victories, and plus are an incredibly tough arse now. But yeah, I am backing them to win this game, and maybe they'll just have the slightest chance, but I very much doubt it. But anyway guys, that's it for you. Thanks very much for watching. To like, share, subscribe. Those are all coming to damage for link description for daily football news, and subscribe to my channel, and I'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.